When it comes to the systems of government, the presidential system is considered a new concept when compared to systems like the monarchy or dictatorship, where the earliest presidential systems have only formed for the past 300 years, whereas the oldest monarchies originate from a couple thousand years ago. Albeit that, or because of that, the presidential system of government is among the most popular government systems in the world of today, adopted by countries such as the US, Philippines, and South Korea, among other countries. Good day, everyone. I am Muhammad Is Hakim, and with my colleagues Trisha, Tengku, and Nadia, we are from class K03. Today, we will try to introduce to you the presidential system of government, how it is formed, its features, and its legislative process. With that said, we would like to propose to you our theoretical government, because what better way to understand the ins and outs of our system than to create one from scratch? A government is only one of the major components of making a country. Among the components to make up a country includes but are not limited to claim of land, a permanent population, a constitution, international relationships, and yes, a government. This is not going to be a video about the other components of a country, though we may touch upon those subjects. Also, we will assume our system of government has all the specified components of a country because, well, they are quite essential to make a government work in the first place. Now, let's continue with the video.
For the formation of government, in our presidential government system, there will be three main branches of government. That is, legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. The legislative branch, whose main purpose is to write and pass the law that govern the country, is made up of two houses, the houses of representative and the house of senate. The first house is House of Representative. The House of Representative, or just the House, will contain 250 seats. A member of the House must be at least 25 years old as of election, live in the state that they present, have lived in that state for 7 years, and are elected by people of that state. Members of the House serve for 2-year terms, and every 2 years, the seats are up for re-election. Both the House and the Senate can begin the lawmaking process by proposing a bill, but only the House can propose laws that are related to taxes and spending of the bill. Both the House and Senate have the power to impeach the President and federal judges through the process of impeachment. The next legislative house is House of Senate. The House of Senate, on the other hand, will contain 100 seats, and the member must be at least 30 years of age as of election, live in the state that they represent, must have lived there for at least 10 years, and are elected by the people of the state. Members of the Senate will serve 6-year terms, and 1/3 of the Senate will be re-elected every 2 years. The Senate has the power to begin the lawmaking process, as does the House, but a power only specific to Senate is rectifying treaties and approving the President's cabinet and President's nominees for federal judges.
The next branch of government is the executive branch, where at the top presides the president of the country. Among the requirements to run for president in our country are the candidate must be 27 years old, born in the country, has lived in the country for more than 15 years, and must be able to read and write. The powers of the president are that he or she is able to pass executive orders, which are orders to members of his cabinet to execute certain tasks within the confines of the law, but are also able to be nullified by the federal judges. He is also able to veto proposed bills, appoint federal judges, his cabinet, and ambassadors, which all must be individually approved by the Senate. He also acts as the military commander-in-chief for the country. The president may run for 2 terms of 4 years in a row, but he can be re-elected back into office after a term of inactivity. Below the president lay his cabinet, which serves as the president's assistants in administering and governing the country, all the while also having the power to advise the president. Finally, we have the judicial branch of the government. as the head of the judicial branch is the Supreme Court, which is basically the equivalent of our own federal court. Presiding in the Supreme Court are 7 Supreme Judges. The Supreme Judges are elected by the President at the time and are approved by the House of Senate. Once elected, the judge works for life and only ends his service at the point of his or her death, retirement, or on special occasions when they are impeached. The Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal and serves as the court with the most power. The Supreme Court has the powers to review any court cases, approve amendments to the Constitution proposed by the Congress, advise courts below it, and deny laws under the reason of it being unconstitutional.
To provide the clearest view of the characteristic of our presidential system of government, I shall present the points in a pros and cons point of view. Among the pros of our government system is that our system of government has separation of power and a system of checks and balance among the main power of the government. An example of this is that the President can veto legislative act in case the Congress is trying to approve a bill that is dangerous and unnecessary. In turn, a supermajority of lawmakers may override the veto in case the President is being unreasonable. However, the process to override the veto is one that requires full cooperation of the members of Congress. Next, every seat in the office has a fixed term. The term limit is a necessity to ensure that nobody in power stay in his or her seat for too long, and it allows people to refresh the members in power according to the people's needs. Elections are held at regular time and cannot be triggered by a vote of confidence or other parliamentary procedure. Although in some instances, we may remove the president of the country via the process of impeachment. Also, the only seat in power without terms limit are the supreme judges. Next, the executive branch is unipersonal. Members of the cabinet serve at the pleasure of the president and must carry out the policy of the president without any pressure from external branches, because cabinet ministry or executive departmental chief are not members of the legislature. However, presidential system often need legislative approval of executive nomination to the cabinet judiciary and various lower governmental posts. A president generally can direct member of the cabinet, military, or any officer or employee of the executive branches. However, he does not have any control over the other branches except the power to communicate and negotiate with them. Lastly, the president can often pardon or commute sentences of convicted criminals in the event that he sees that the judicial branches is blessed in a ruling or other reason. Moving on to the cons of our system of government. Possibility of deadlocks between the executive and the legislative body, where the majority members of the legislature are not similar to the party which the president belongs. Next, it is very difficult to remove the president from the office before his term ends via impeachment process. Lastly, the system is very expensive to run in terms of financial and personnel required for the separate executive and legislative arms of government.
Before becoming a bill, it is an idea shared by a group of people. People who want to pass a law are called congressmen. The bill can be proposed in any house except bills relating to funds, which have to start from the House of Representatives. For simplicity, we will propose a bill at the House of Representatives. Upon the proposal of the bill, the congressmen will discuss the bill through a series of debates. After that, they will vote whether to pass the bill. If it passes, then the bill will be presented to the House of Senate, where the process of debates repeats. Then the House of Senate will vote to pass a bill or not. If it fails, then the houses can send a group of people from both houses to form a committee that will discuss and amend the bill, which will then restart from the proposal process. Once a bill passes both houses, the bill will be sent to the president who will sign or veto the bill. If he decides to veto, then the Congress can override the veto with a two-thirds majority vote from both houses. If the president signs the bill, then it is now an enforceable law.
Hello, this is Iz here, and as I'm recording this, the video is almost at around 15 minutes long, so I had to cut some stuff such as the intro and the conclusion to the video, but more importantly, we had a segment about our voting system, of which we were going to explain the single transferable voting method that we wanted to apply to our government. However, due to time constraints, we cannot do that, so instead I'll provide a link to a video here where we got the idea for the voting method from. If you'd like to ask us about the voting method in the Q&A, I'd also highly appreciate it. Thank you. With that, thank you for paying attention to our video and have a great rest of your day.